Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Inside the Big Dynasty League. With me, as always, is the commish, Clyde, Randall, Waters, and the stat man, Petey Cunningham. Let's start this week off like we start every week off by taking a look at last week's Mama Matchup of the Week.
Mama Matchup of the Week.
Last week's Mama Matchup of the Week was Wayne Enterprises versus... Nope, that's next week's. Los Pandas versus Mr. Clutch's fake football team.
Oh. Spoiler alert.
We don't have to talk about this. We don't have to talk about this.
Break it down for me.
I would love to. I believe we have a graphic to throw up.
We don't.
We do not have a graphic to throw up, so we're just going to give you the stats live.
I can graphically throw up right now if you want.
We're going old school tonight. And it's Des Nudes.
Let's not talk about it.
This was a rough week. Mr. Clutch, fresh off the trade, where he just got Russell Wilson, Des Bryant, and Cameron Brate. Didn't even play Cameron Brate, but Russell Wilson, 42 points.
Now, let me just... Stat man, you're the math man, and I won't interrupt you. But I do believe 42.48 points is significantly higher than 2.10 points, which is what Los Pandas Desnudos quarterback got. Am I right on that?
That is factually correct.
Man.
This
was a whooping. I'm sorry.
It was. And it was a whooping based on two key positions, my quarterback and my defense. If you get a quarterback that only puts up 2 points, and you got a defense that gets you negative 1 point, it's really hard to win against a team as a quarterback who puts up 42 points alone.
The worst part of this, it was his quarterback that caused your defense to go negative.
It was like every time he was scoring touchdowns, he was also hitting you in the face.
I know. It's like a double whammy.
All right. Anything else on this matchup?
For my team is the Bengals of this league. You put us in prime time, matchup of the week, look what we do.
You choked.
Just choked on applesauce.
How do you choke on applesauce?
It's very difficult. But it's possible. Trust me.
Anyways.
Let's take a look at some other notable matchups of the week. Not the matchup of the week, but matchups from this week that are notable. Statman, what do you got for me?
We had a really big upset this week.
Big upset.
I mean...
Brother.
We had some big brother abuse.
That's right.
This was bad.
EBDBB&B.
Real bad.
Who has been bottom 1 or 2 in the power rankings almost every week. Laid a smackdown on Convicted Llamas. 46-point beatdown this week.
Oh, let's see here. EBDBB&B put out a solid lineup. However, was rated only 88% in their efficiency rating. That, however, was better than the 81% by the Convicted Llamas. These two teams, who would have ever thought that this matchup would have looked like this coming this week?
I know I wouldn't have.
I didn't expect it at all. And EBDBB, big win, and they even had a player like Giovanni Bernard who only put up 0.5 points this week.
Yep, Convicted Llamas, hot start on the year. Alex Smith, Kareem Hunt. Kareem Hunt only 9.8 points this week, which for most players that's an average week, but Hunt has been way above that. Stephon Diggs was back. He only got 6.6. Convicted Llamas, I think they'll be all right. Rough week. EBDBB, though, this team starting to get it rolling. They were only 88% efficient because they had Alex Collins on the bench, who got 16.3 for the Ravens.
Yeah.
This EBDBB team is looking kind of scary down the stretch.
I'll tell you this. We swept Convicted Llamas. We swept for them. And they choked.
Ooh.
That is true.
Major disappointment. I really believed in you.
So I do want to
Let
throw
me
this
down.
out there that owner of the Convicted Llamas, Alan Henley, was gracious. I have a comment here after the game he said about his brother. My hat's off to them. Took his hats off for them.
Losing gracefully. I hear that Allen's okay with losing. That's what the rumor is.
I think so. I mean, he's going to have to be for this week, right?
That's right. That's right. That humbleness pays off.
But on the other hand, got a quote here from Brian Henley, owner of EBDB.
The older brother.
Even considering the rough season they've been having, he threw this line out there. We proved we were the better team.
Man.
They're denying it.
I mean, you could deny it, but why? All right, next up, let's take a look at our awards of the week. Let's start off, as we do every week, with the Hershey Milk Dud of the week. That one is going out to who? Kamish.
Just rubbing it in.
You're going to make me air my own dirty laundry?
Yes, this time I am.
Dang it. Well, this goes out to, we kind of already hit on this, Jameis Winston. Only putting up 2.1 points this week. Terrible. Very, very terrible. I don't know where to begin, other than everyone thought Jameis Winston was a stud, but this season he's proven to be a dud.
A milk dud.
Been rough.
Next up, let's take a look at the Ram Pickup of the Week. Brought to you by Ram. If you drive their cars for a while, you'll need to get tires.
That's truth.
This one is
I did
going
this
out
week.
to who? Statman.
This one is going out to Travis Benjamin of the 69ers. 18.8 points this week.
Ooh.
Ran wild over that New England Patriots defense.
Ooh.
All right, next up, let's take a look at the Whoopin' of the Week. Brought to you by Burger King, home of the Whopper. That one is going out to who? Kamish.
Well, speaking of Burger King, did you hear they have a new farmhouse burger?
A farm burger?
Yeah, it's got egg on it. I really want to try it. Anyways,
You're a sucker for a sandwich with egg on it.
I am. Put an egg on it, I'll eat it. Also, if you make up something and you call it chili, I'll probably eat it. Anyways, the whooping of the week this week goes out to the matchup of Wayne Enterprises, who beat down the Cincinnati Bourbon Barons. No surprise here. It was a 61-point win for the Wayne Enterprises, with the Bourbon Barons only being able to muster up 85 points in their matchup this week.
I suck.
Tough game.
Next up, we got the Resurrected Team of the Week. Brought to you by Lazarus Department Stores. That one is going out to the EBDBB with a 161.86 points put up, a
Most points.
52-point improvement, and they beat their little brother. Next up, we got the Poopery Poo Poo Team of the Week. That one is going out to who? Statman.
That one's going out to the Cincinnati Bourbon Barons over here. 85 points.
Look, man, you gotta keep that stuff out of the studio. It's stinking here.
My team is just straight poo. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to pull off a win the rest of the season. My only goal, and I couldn't even do that this week, is to not get the Poopery Poo Poo Team of the Week. It is the only goal I have, and I cannot even accomplish it. If I could see, I'd leave this on my face the rest of the night.
Did you see the game Will Fuller had this week?
No.
It was a pretty good game. 20-something points, I think.
It was a really good week.
Didn't you have rights to him going into the season and you dropped him?
Who knows? I can't keep track of that stuff, which is why I probably suck. Couldn't even tell you probably half the people on my team. All right. Next up, we got the Breakout Player of the Week, brought to you by Proactive. This one is going out to who, Kamish?
This one goes out to, wait for it, Paul Richardson. Seattle's wide receiver who put up 28.5 points this week. That's double his previous high score of the season. Started by, get off me!
Get off me!
Get off me.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that does it for the awards of the week. Let's go live to Ben for his power ranking.
Happy November, everyone. Really quickly, just want to state to Alan Henley that maybe trading for Des Bryant and Russell Wilson would have helped you look a little less crappy this week. Just some little advice I got for you. So let's go ahead and get into these power rankings. Starting at 12, we do have the Bourbon Barons. It's all right. There's always Devy picks for you for next year. 11, the Unseen Academicals coming out strong in the first half of the season and kind of sucking over the last 4 games. Number 10, we got Wet Stuff. Hey, it's your first year in the league, and you're beating you guys that have been here fine. We got to get off me. Somehow still in the playoff race, even though he traded away his entire team. Number 8, we got the Chili Slingers. Still waiting for my Wiener Buns, Timmy. Number 7, this is a surprise. We got the Scarlet Pants. Atlanta is in trouble. I don't know what's going on with them, but they look like this year's Carolina Panthers. So let's see if Sarah can pull it off still. Number 6, this is a huge surprise from the Saquon hopefuls to the playoff hopefuls. I got the EDBDBDBBBBZ&B. Easy B. Number 5, another kind of big surprise for me here. Los Pandas Desnudos. Having a bad game this last week, but I still believe in them. Number 4, we got the Convicted Yamas. Lots of big trades on that team. Let's see if they stick for the Yamas. Number 3, we got Mr. Clutch's fake football team, now with Des Bryant scoring under 10 points. That looked like a good trade. Number 2, Wayne Enterprises. OH, no Zeke. And at number 1, the 69ers, always on top. Hey, Petey, lots of going on in the NFL as well as the fantasy world this day. What say you?
Previews for next week.
That's right, Ben. Also, I don't know how I won the award for the biggest whooping of the week, and I dropped to number 2. I know there was no Zeke the rest of the year, first week of the playoffs, but that's okay. Records speak for themselves. Anyway, big week trading. We had Ajayi go to the Eagles. We had Garoppolo go to San Fran, and Kelvin Benjamin going to the Bills. The ironic thing here is that Ajayi and Kelvin Benjamin both on convicted llamas who had a rough week. Ben, which player do you think has an opportunity to improve their position the rest of the year to help convicted llamas avoid more losses?
Well, first off, I want to say that I think both these players have character issues, and it's no surprise that with the leadership of this convicted Yamas team, that they're letting these players just get out of line and do whatever they want, and the real teams are having to drop them. But if I have to, it's tough. I thought Sammy Watkins should have been better than he was in Buffalo, but I got to go with Jay Ajayi. I know LeGarrette Blount's there, but you guys know how I feel about LeGarrette Blount. He is not good. Last year was him falling over for 3 yards, and when you're 3 yards tall, it's kind of easy to do that. I think bringing in Jay Ajayi, there's nothing wrong with his knee. He looks fine. Dolphins' line were just awful. The Eagles are making a push for the playoffs. They didn't pay much for him, but I honestly believe behind that line, he's going to do a lot of good things. Timeshare is my only issue with him. We don't know how it's going to break down, but Blunt's done. How old is he? Like 35 years old? Just let him go off into the sunset and smoke some blunts, That'd make a happier Blunt.
I vehemently agree with you on this one. Really think Ajayi is going to eventually take over most of that timeshare with the Eagles. Kelvin Benjamin, I heard a stat that Tyrod Taylor is the third lowest quarterback in the league at throwing into tight coverage. Kelvin Benjamin, big, not so fast, doesn't get open. Part of the problem he had in Carolina, I just don't see that improving. I think he's going to regress a little bit. Ajayi has been a little rough this year. I think he's averaging less than 10 points a game. I definitely see him maybe hitting 15 a game there in the Eagles. That offensive line has been opening up holes for Blunt, and all of Ajayi's advanced metrics look pretty good. So I agree with you that Ajayi looks like he might be able to take a little jump.
And real quick, just a side note, how is it that the Carolina Panthers first decide they want to get rid of Steve Smith, still in his prime at age 30, and then get rid of Kelvin Benjamin? It's almost like the GMs there take side bets against Cam Newton. I know Cam Newton says the world's against him, but it sounds like it's just the GMs that he works for that are against him. What is up with that?
I know, Cam Newton, everybody rips on him. He doesn't do enough. He is their entire offense, though. They don't have other options. They went and got him McCaffrey, and they got him Samuel in the draft, which McCaffrey has shown that he's a terrible runner. I mean, that dude cannot get yards running the ball. He's nothing but a wide receiver. I'm sorry, Bourbon Barons, this is your guy. But Samuel's barely played this year, so I really am interested to see if this is an opportunity for Curtis Samuel to step in here. It seems like they've been forcing the ball to him this year, but now maybe he'll just kind of get the ball, the natural flow of the offense, way more athletic than Benjamin. See if he can take a step up.
All right, now I got one last quick question. Which trade deadline will be more sexy, NFL or BDL?
NFL had a lot of sizzle this year. I'm going BDL, though. We've already had one big trade go through. I really see a couple of these teams they're jostling. We now got 4 or 5, 6 teams vying for those last couple spots. And I definitely see some heavy activity and maybe even one of the contenders. The 69ers or Wayne Enterprises might make a move to bolster those lineups. We'll see what happens. Good talk. Well, thank you for the power rankings, Ben. As always, they were good. I want that number 1 spot, though, but it's going to be hard with no Zeke.
All right, we're back. Thank you, Ben. And Stabman, what does the word imminently mean? Is it a real word, or did you misspeak?
Didn't I say vehemently?
Vehemently?
Did you just not hear the V?
Can you say it one more time?
Vehemently.
Vehemently?
Vehemently. Strongly is what it means.
I've never heard that word before. I've heard vehemently.
I have heard vitamin.
I did get C's in English, so.
All right. No, that's okay. Let's take a look at this week's Mama Matchup of the Week.
Mama Matchup of the Week.
All right. This week's Mama Matchup of the Week is the Convicted Llamas versus Wayne Enterprises. The 2 top teams in the league going at it. Statman, break it down for me.
2 top teams in the league. I think somebody might disagree with you on that. But
well, I make stuff up. I don't really look at anything, so it's entirely possible I'm wrong.
That's okay. We're really looking forward to this matchup. Convicted Llamas. I was really wanting a 9-1 matchup, and then they had go and lose to their brother last week. Why couldn't they have just won? This would have been one of the biggest matchups in BDL history. These 2 teams were in the same division last year. Their matchup in Week 12 decided the division. And I really think this matchup will as well. Wayne Enterprises wins this one. Division's not quite theirs, but it's looking good. Took me down earlier this year. I'm hoping to get some revenge. Mitch, what do you think about this one?
I think it was pretty good. The Convicted Llamas beat Wayne Enterprises by 2.6. It's a pretty small margin. And I think that overall, as the season goes on, we'll really see which is the better team.
I like it.
All right. I suspect this one might be a close shave. I'm going to call it. Close shave of the week.
This might be the pillow fight of the week, though.
It still might be close.
No Bell and no Zeke for Wayne Enterprises, and Convicted Llamas looking a little rough and got the 2 players that were just traded, so might be a low-scoring matchup. Defensive matchup, as they might say.
All right, let's see here. I actually sent out and had an interview with the owner and head coach of the Convicted Llamas.
Ooh.
Sent our crack team out there,
Our second quote from you.
and he said, and I quote, "We have to step up our offensive production."
Of course.
With all of that being said, Commish, who are you taking?
I am taking the first team.
The Convicted Llamas?
Yes, the Convicted Llamas.
All right. Statman.
I can't believe that. But I'm also going to take the Convicted Llamas. I'm not sure about my team this week. I'm not fist bumping that. I'm not sure about my team this week. We'll see how this goes. Marlon Mack looking for a big-time matchup, but I'm going with the Llamas to get the win.
You know what, Statman? You might not believe in yourself, but I do. I am taking Wayne Enterprises.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. With that, we're going to move into our 2-minute drill. Where is it at? There's it go. All right. Let's take a look here. We got Los Pandas Desnudo versus the San Francisco 69ers. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, that is a sex joke. Commish, who are you taking?
Gotta go with the San Francisco 69ers on this one.
All right. Statman.
Not going with yourself. I can't believe it.
Well, you know, Los Pandas Desnudo is just not that great of a team.
Desnudo. Stat.
Desnudo.
Or Commish. How many times I got to say, get your own name right?
Dang. Yeah, you know, that's the problem. The problem is within.
All
As a
right.
management.
Statman.
This time, I like Los Pandas Desnudos in this matchup. Rough week last week. I think they're going to bounce back strong this week. Buys are not helping the 69ers as well. Los Pandas Desnudos gets the win.
You know what? I'm going to make a change on the fly. I'm taking the Pandas. Next up, we got the Cincinnati Bourbon Barons versus the Unseen Academicals. Their best opportunity to get a second win this year. Commish, who are you taking?
I'm taking the Unseen Academicals. The Cincinnati Bourbon Barons, just not great ownership, just like Mike Brown.
Statman.
Bourbon Barons gets the win.
Yeah, I'm taking myself as I always do, which is why I don't win the pick'em. Next up, we got the EBDBB&B versus Get Off Me.
Get off me.
Thank you. All right, Statman, who you taking?
I'm gonna go ahead and take Get Off Me because I can pronounce that one.
Thank you, Commish. Get off me. Now, like I asked, Statman, who are you taking?
EBDBB&B. Gonna keep rolling. They're pushing for that playoff spot. This team's looking good.
I am also taking the EBDBB&B. Sorry, get off me. You fire sailed yourself out of my picking. Next up, we got the Scarlet Pimps versus Wet Stuff on Your Red Stuff. And yes, that's also a sex joke. And they're both fathers. It's kind of embarrassing sometimes.
It's messed up.
Commish, who are you taking?
I'm gonna go ahead and say they're gonna tie.
That's
Not
not
all
possible.
the tie. Putting the foot down.
It's a bold strategy, Cotton.
Stab it. Who are you taking?
Going with the Pimps.
I'm going with the Pimps too. And since he didn't pick, that makes this a sweep. Last matchup of the week is Mr. Clutch's fake football team versus the Skyline Chili Slingers. Commish, who you taking?
You know, I gotta go with the Skyline Chili Slingers on this one.
Statman.
Mr. Clutch just had a big win off that trade, but I'm going with the Chili Slingers.
I'm
in this
taking
one.
the Slingers as well, and that makes this a sweep. And that is our 2-minute drill, ladies and gentlemen. Next, let's move over and take a look with the Commish at our question of the week. Commish.
I believe the question is who will perform better after their trade. Ajayi, Kelvin Benjamin, or Jimmy Garoppolo?
All right, that is this week's question. Commish, how did last week's question go? What would you say the recap of last week's question?
I would say where will this trade get Mr. Clutch to a championship this year came out to a 6-6 vote for yes it will and no it will not.
Came out to a tie.
Oh, man.
So they are possible.
We are a divided league. We are a divided league. All right, ladies and gentlemen, get your picks in. Set your lineups. Have fun. Be safe out there. Have a good night. That's it for us.
And Venmo at Jack My at $5.
See ya.